Hi, my name is Brittany Riley, and I'm going to discuss with you my final project, Milestone 2, about General Motors and the faulty ignition switches and where the company is going for the future. The first thing I'd like to discuss with you are the strengths of General Motors, one being that they treat every customer with the utmost respect, not only at the time of purchasing the vehicle, but for the entire ownership of the vehicle. Now, General Motors spans over 6 continents and has over 250,000 employees worldwide outside of their Detroit offices. One of the key stakeholders for General Motors is Mary T. Barra. She is the CEO and was hired on January 15, 2014, right at the time when GM was struggling with these lawsuits of the ignition switches and focusing on a call to action for the future. Weaknesses. The ignition switches. These dated back from 2005 to 2007 on vehicles such as the Chevrolet Cobalt and the Pontiac G5, and there were 13 deaths reported and nearly 54 accidents from these ignition switches. And two of the key stakeholders here are Gary Altman, who was the assembly line team lead, and Ray DiGiorgio, who was the team lead for the faulty ignition switches. And it was said that they lied under oath and knew about these ignition switches as far back as 2006, but did nothing to report them to the higher-ups. Opportunities. General Motors is a very diverse organization. They hire people such as women and LGBT members and veterans of war. They have won the Diverse Inc. Award for employees coming together and working cohesively and having competent employees that will build a better call to action and a better plan for the future of the company under the direct management. Threats. More recalls. Currently, there are 2.6 million recalls on these vehicles. Now, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration is working with the original 13 families of those who died and hoping that no more lawsuits or deaths are going to come out of these other 2.6 million recalls for the company. As well, bad press. How are the newspapers and the media really portraying General Motors, and what can GM do to better themselves in the public persona? Now, the internal and external stakeholders of General Motors. So the internal stakeholders would be the employees of General Motors themselves. This includes the overall executives, the engineers putting these cars together, and the customer service representatives that speak with GM clientele on a regular basis. These employees work with the NHTSA to create a positive face for the company and make the public believe in GM again after these ignition switch incidents. The external stakeholders. This would be the current families involved in the lawsuits, the customers who currently own GM vehicles, and those who want to purchase vehicles with GM in the future. These people who want to purchase in the future need to feel comfortable enough with General Motors to buy a car with them in the future. Now, a communication approach for General Motors. First and foremost, it would be identifying the problem of the faulty ignition switches, developing a message both internally and externally for General Motors, having conversations between peers and management on building a plan to better the business for the future, telling a story, and most importantly, implementing and controlling that plan that they're going to make. This will build a better company from within, as well as the systems theory, and this in turn will help the general public have a better image of General Motors for years to come. So working with the systems theory and building a cohesive and competent work environment will build a better persona for the company for years to come. Now, things that could inhibit this communication program. Unsupported generalizations. So General Motors needs to focus on the facts, let the public know what's going on, and let them know of their plan to action and how they're going to overcome these ignition switches and build better and safe cars for the future. Avoid faulty cause and effect claims. Focus on the audience, being the general public. Being open to others' ideas, and avoiding either or logic. So focus on the facts, let people know what's going on, have team meetings and team bonding within the company, and make sure that the public is well aware of what's going on so they know how they can react to General Motors claims and know what they're doing to build a better organization for years to come. And finally, the ethics of General Motors. General Motors is a trustworthy company. They have apologized for the deaths. They have let the media and the public know what's going on. They've taken responsibility for their actions, and they've done a great job of building better cars, building better safety valves, creating very environmentally efficient vehicles, having safer airbags in the vehicles, and it is through this process that they are going to overcome the situation, avoid having all of these recalls in the future, and making the public want to come to GM to buy vehicles. That's the most important thing, having that positive face to the company and letting the public know, hey, we're GM, we've overcome this problem, we've tackled the issue at hand, and we're going to, come out of this stronger and better than ever. Thank you so much.